Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views. Today is March 28, 2014. We are winding down the end of the month. We only have one more trading day after this in the month of March. So the quarter is just about over, but you're going to see the S&P 500 E-mini futures trading higher by about 5 points right now to 1845.5 per contract. So markets are holding steady again before the opening bell. We'll see if they hold their gains into the close. Today is a Friday. Normally on a Friday, we're going to look for a flat to slightly positive trading day. Now, I know most of the week, every time we've had a gap up this week, the markets have faded. But generally on Fridays, we look for a flat to slightly positive trading day. We really don't look for a ton of upside. But if the market is negative, it's usually negative by a little bit. Somehow, some way, a floating wand comes in and keeps the markets buoyant right before the closing bell if we do get a sell-off. So, again, flat to slightly positive trading day. If we are down, generally we're usually not down that much. So, I guess that's the consensus we'll have to use today, and we'll see how this all shakes out and plays out going forward. But any way you slice it or dice it, that's what we're looking at this morning. All right, let's get into some stocks here because we do have a bunch of stocks to talk about. And we're going to start off with this Caesars Entertainment, CZR, casino name. And what you're going to see here, stock is trading down sharply. It closed at $21.08 a share yesterday. Today it's trading at $19.49. I will have some gap plays for this one. This will be posted up in the chat room. It looks like Caesars issued more shares, so it looks like they did a share offering of about 7 million shares of common. So we'll see how that all plays out going forward. But that looks to be the news, at least at the moment, that Caesars will be issuing 7 million new shares. So we'll see how that plays out. Next stock on my list right here is BlackBerry, BBRY. So the BlackBerry, the cell phone maker. This got a little bit of a pop today. Closed at 9.05 yesterday. Traded all the way up to 9.80. Now coming back down to earth a little bit. Trading at around $9.30. But it looks like they came out with earnings. Again, they had a big loss, but I guess it was better than most people expected. They beat the bottom line, or they beat analyst expectations. But nonetheless, it was still a loss. So I don't know if this is going to make all that much of a move, but nonetheless, it did start out higher today. I'm looking at levels on my charts, and I'm really having a hard time finding any good spot for this stock. So be a little bit careful with BlackBerry today. I don't know if there's really much here that we could look at. Stock does have a little bit of support at 871 if it got down to that level, but I'm really not seeing much telling me to get involved with this name. But again, it was active, and it is active before the opening bell, so we have to talk about it a little bit, and it is a household name, so to speak. Next one we're going to talk about here is Amazon, AMZ, and there's some reports out saying that Amazon is going to offer us free video streaming. Right now, they do offer that service to their Prime membership customers, but I don't know. Amazon has firmly denied that they will be doing this. But nonetheless, watch Netflix today in sympathy. So Netflix could be vulnerable in sympathy. I think Netflix is a bit oversold. The Netflix stock does have some support, basically around the 350, 375 area. So watch for a little bit of support if it does get down there. I don't know if it will trade down to that level, but nonetheless, this news, if it were to be true, would probably have a negative effect on Amazon because it is a similar service. And they are going to offer, if it happened, this would definitely eat into Netflix for sure. Let's take a look next at Restoration Hardware. It looks like, I believe the company came out with some type of news here with Restoration Hardware. I think they reported earnings. Again, the stock is trading up a little bit. It's trading at $69.37. The only level I'm seeing for this one is $71.16. It's a very tough trade, but the stock gets up there, probably hits a little bit of resistance. After that, it would be $74.25. So two resistance levels there. This is a real thin stock, meaning it rarely trades a million shares. There are not a lot of shares outstanding, so always be careful. This is a high-risk scalp trade if you want to do it. So again, scalp is just nothing more than a quick day trade of about 10 to 30 minutes. But this is a higher risk one because of its thin volume, and it can overshoot sometimes. And traders, I don't think realize or respect it sometimes when they see these kind of stocks like this. Let's take a look at Finish Line, FINL. I know there's some news here. I think Finish Line, if I'm not mistaken, had some news where they reported, I think, earnings or something of that nature. So, again, the stock's been all over the map. It's been as high as 28 and as low as 26.50. Believe it or not, I'm not seeing a lot here. If it goes up to around 28.75 to 29, I think there's going to be a fair amount of resistance there. If the stock comes down to $24.62, I think you can be a buyer there for a scalp long bounce. Remember, scalp's just a quick day trade lasting about 10 to 30 minutes. But 24.62 is the level of support that I've calculated out this morning. So keep that on your radar. And then the next level I'm seeing for Finish Line would be all the way down to $22.75. While I don't expect that to happen, I do think that 24.62 ultimately can be possible. So traders should be a little bit aware of that one if it does get there. Let's take a look at VJET. Ticker symbol is VJET. I did see some news on this earlier. Stock closed at $25.68. Right now, the stock is trading at $23.05. So that's a pretty serious decline. It was even lower. This is another equity that is a little bit on the thin side. So traders got to be a little bit aware of that. Take it for what it's worth. But right now, this stock is getting hit pretty sharply. Hard to find a real good level, to be honest. It really is a little bit tough to find a real good level on this one today. But I'm going to go out on a limb. Here, and I'm going to say that the stock probably, and this is a tough one for me, probably has some pretty good support around the $22 area. So, again, it's a high-risk play. This is a very thin equity. Rarely trades, even 500,000 shares a day, let alone 1 million. So it can go lower. Right now I'm showing some support around 22 mathematically. It's nothing to do with anything else but pure straight mathematics. So we'll see if that holds. But again, that's a high-risk play as well. And that's all we're seeing here on this Friday. Let's go over to the gold market this morning. Gold is trading lower by about $6.30 an ounce to $1288.60. That's a pretty decent decline on gold. As I mentioned to you yesterday, gold should trade down a little bit more, but it is approaching a very, very attractive support level. So you day traders out there, watch the 123.65 level for the GLD. There should be a fair amount of support there. 123.65. After that, it's basically down to 122.95. So keep those both levels on your watch list there intraday for the GLD if it does trade down there. The oil market right now is trading up again by another 50 cents. So light sweet crude is trading at 101.77 a barrel. It is above that $100 marker. So we'll see some higher prices, I'm sure, at the pump. But anyway you slice it or dice it, let's go to the USO and we'll look at that. That's a good proxy. And you can see this is trading up here around this 36.62 level. Again, oil's holding up pretty well. Ultimately, I think it's somewhat range bound, so there's really not a lot we could do with it. The only level I would like for oil today, if it would to drop down to 34.60. Other than that, there's not a lot I would do with the USO at this stage of the game. But oil is trading a little bit higher this morning before the opening bell, so we'll keep that on the radar. Today, once again, is a Friday. Generally, you'll see a flat day on Friday, flat to slightly positive. If the market is negative, it's usually slightly negative. You never know what today's going to bring, though, so don't take anything for granted. The market has been weak throughout the trading week. Every uptick has been sold into, and today may not be any exception to that theme that we've seen throughout the trading week. So we'll leave it here. We'll see what it gives us, and I want to wish everybody a great trading day, and we'll see you on the charts. Take care now.